Hey guys, this is Jim with Styrene Monkey. I want to do a little tutorial about making a paint rack for these rattle cans. As you can see, I got them all over the workbench. I got paints up here. I even made a stepping rack out of 2x2s so I can see the tops of the cans. But as you see, it's a lot of wasted space. Even when I stepped it up further back, it was just wasted space. So for quite some time, I've had this thought in my mind to make a rack and get this workbench a little organized because it's just driving me nuts. I mean, I do woodworking out here. In front of me is my model railroad layout in scale. I do woodworking, and this bench is just it's driving me nuts. So I got to get it taken care of. So if you want to stick around, I'm going to do a little tutorial about showing you how to make a rattle can paint rack. Okay, this is where I've gotten so far. We cut two pieces out. One is the side, which I got is 1.5 feet high, and as you can see, the other one is sitting over here. And what I've done, I got a 3/4 inch piece of wood. Now this is just, I'm using this as a sample, but I cut it to 3 foot length, and I have stuck another piece of wood underneath it here so I can get my pitch of where exactly I want these cans and how I want to tilt them. I don't want this board sticking out past the sideboard. So where I got it exactly where I want it, and I go ahead and scribe it with a pencil right there. So when I take this apart, I know that this pitch or this angle, degree of angle, is where I want it. So we're going to start from there first and move on, and I'll be right back. Okay, here's what I've come up with now. Now, as you can see, that's that pitch line I drew earlier when the cans are sitting up over here at the angle I wanted. I scribed that line. Now, what I did was take a scrap piece, a 3/4 inch wood that I'm going to use as my cross piece, and I put it on here just like this on that angle, and I outlined it with a pencil to show where this is going to sit at that angle. And I'm going to drill 2 holes here so when this board is attached to this piece of board, it doesn't twist. If you put 1 screw in there, it's going to twist and everything, and it's not going to stay in place. So we're going to put 2 holes here. Now the reason I built these pieces about 1.5 feet high is because that is the distance I have here for the bench to the top of my my bench from the top of this light here. Now you could make it as high as you want, of course, and the other reason why I made it this width, I think this is this piece here was 3.5 inches wide. Which they call 4 inches. The reason is because the cans are, I don't want it too wide, a wide piece of board. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I wanted it just almost the same height or same width as the cans when I pitch it at an angle. But that was the only reason I chose this width size, which they call 4 inches. If you really measure it by a tape measure, it's 3.5. And so that's the only reason I chose this type of size, and use these. You could use a smaller piece of this if you wish. Whatever scrap you have, actually, whatever works. This is just the idea I've come up with, and I'm hoping to work for you. So let's move on, and let me drill these holes, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys. Now that I got that angle I was telling you about, I went ahead and drilled 2 pilot holes. And then what I did from there is I measured every 4 inches a mark. And what this thing is, it's like a gauge. I use it for my miter saw, and I was able to adjust the pitch that was the original pitch off of this mark and copy it down. This is about 55 degrees is what this is. And I just put a line every 4 inches and did my degree mark, 4 inches, degree mark for it. And then I used the scrap piece of wood to outline each one of these cross pieces that I got. I want 4 pieces across here. But that's the way I did it. But then I'm going to go ahead and drill pilot holes in this and the other side as well. And that way they should match up, and be right back. Okay, I got the pilot holes drilled out in each one of these pieces on this one side here that I told you I was going to do. And what I did is take the other side piece of wood here, laid it on the bottom and lined it up, and went ahead and drilled through the existing holes on the top piece as a guide. It's a little trick I learned years ago, so that we know that the holes on the other side are going to be exact place at the exact spot, and they'll all line up once we get this together. So let's go ahead and get the screws, and let's get this thing put together and finish this up. Be right back. Okay, here's our angle that we drew. Now we're just going to put this piece right on that angle line and go ahead and drill. Now we'll do the other side. Okay, as you can see, I got these drilled in to our marks at that angle that we traced the pattern on with the sample piece. And like I said, we did pre-existing drilling holes on the other end so it would match up. And these marks are every other 4 inches on point. So that comes out right. And we're going to add one more to the top up here, right up in this section. And we're going to put another one across, and we should be done. We'll be right back. Alright guys, here we go. Here's the final product once it's done. What I had to do is put a couple of L brackets up above here, and I also drilled it to the bench because it wanted to keep, the weight was trying to pull it away from the wall. So as a safety feature, I just strapped that on there, and there you go. It came out a little bit better than I thought it did, and you might want to make yours a little different angle, whatever, what have you. But this was took me all of say 2 hours, and of course I still have more room to put more paints if I want. And of course now the cabinet up above is empty. Now I have even more space. So just a little tutorial just to show you that a paint rack can be made. I think I spent about 17 bucks in my 2 hours of my time, and that's all it took. I hope this helps some people out there that's looking to make a rack for their model can paints. And until then, just let me know what you think, and I appreciate you watching. Take care. Bye-bye.